Okay, welcome everybody who is joining us, who is here. Hope you had a great day or you are having a great day, depends on where you are. We are excited for one specific thing, and this is because this is something that we are going to be doing going forward. It's a little bit of change in the format of how we have been doing these meetings. So my name is Dino. Danny is here as well from New Hope Global, and hopefully we're gonna spend some great time together over the next a little bit less than an hour or so. But first, as we get started, first maybe some of the things for everybody here. As I mentioned already, this is going to be our one-time monthly meeting, okay? So everybody who is listening, please note this for you, for your partners, for your active members who would like to just get some extra information, get some extra knowledge, but more importantly, I would always say to surround themselves with a positive, success-driven, help-driven people, okay? Because I believe everybody is living in a world where 95% of our daily life it's about kind of like not just negativity, but more like oh, you can't do more, you can't reach more, this is what it is, it's you don't have opportunity to be better, you don't have opportunity to be more. But this is not true. That is why that kind of environment, I believe, it's important more than just the knowledge by itself. Just for you to say like, you know what, whatever I'm doing right now, let me leave it for the next 1 hour. Let me just turn on my camera. Let me listen to this group of people. Let me see their beautiful faces. Let me see what they are doing. And let me just get some motivation. Let me get some inspiration. Let me get some great things that maybe I have not gotten today or maybe even this week. So our aim for this specific monthly meeting, if we want to call it so, is to become better, to share experiences, to share ideas, to help each other with different even use cases. You're gonna be hearing on such kind of meetings even some of your other partners, maybe some of them are your mentors, the people who you work with on a daily or a weekly basis, or some that you heard their names and you're like, oh, it would be cool to learn from this kind of person, and this is what it's all about. So that is why we will simply call this a leadership development call. We want to do that. We want to help everybody to have that kind of environment. So more than anything, once again, I hope everybody can really take an hour per month. I'm not asking you for 1 hour a week. I'm not asking you for 1 hour a day. Just 1 hour per month. Make it a priority. Be a part of these calls. And I'm sure that in just a matter of just going through a few of these calls, there's going to be a lot of changes. And I will tell you one thing. The change is not always just financially. Okay? It is not always that because you're going on one call or attending one event that you're going to come back home and become rich. It's not just about that. The change is about much, much more. Changes are happening within us, right? How do we become better as a person, as a better individual? How can we manage problems better? How can we face the problems better, right? How can we actually be better even at home? How can we work together with other people that maybe we didn't know that we can work with, right? How can we overcome the challenges and the changes? And at the end of the day, also, how do we go through these days in this world, right? So those are some of the things for everybody to know, to start with. And Danny, I know that both of us been like really excited about this. And what are some of your thoughts?
Well, I think that the development of leadership is so important because maybe you just think, well, I just have customers, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. If you are a daughter or a son, which we are all daughters and sons, you need leadership. If you're a parent, you need leadership. If you are working for somebody else, and you know, you're also having customers with NH Global, you're developing your business, you need leadership. Anywhere you go, leadership will help you in so many ways, and you will become very valuable. Once you become a valuable, I'm not saying that if you don't come, you're not valuable. Don't get me wrong. But whenever you improve in every area, specifically on personal development and skills, you will see the difference immediately.
Perfect. So today there is one important thing that we are going to start with. And again, have this in mind that this kind of calls sometimes might challenge you. Sometimes might give you some kind of like a homework that you might want to work on. Sometimes it might give you, I would say, kind of like sleepless nights. Why? Because you're gonna hear some ideas, some information, maybe even from some people that you're gonna say, but how did I do that? And it's going to open up your mind, it's going to open up your dreams. Because the reality is we all have much bigger dreams that we are working and performing today. Right? And if we can surround ourselves with such kind of ideas, individuals, people, trainings, that is going to help us. That's going to be great. So today, just for everybody who is here, we are going to focus on some basics. And the common theme of today is going to be how do we move? How do we actually go into action? What are the events all about? Like, and we're gonna talk about some of those things because you're gonna learn through that today that everything is about the events. And you will understand that if I attend the event, after the event, I can go and take action. And from action, I can get possibility of success. And if I get success, I can maybe be more satisfied in specific area of my life. I can maybe help more people. I can achieve more of my goals. Any of those things are connected. Okay? But to start with, I want to stop here and first of all, ask ourselves, what is leadership? You know, because so many times we hear this word, and I believe everybody who is here is hearing this word of leadership, specifically in the area that we work with, which is, we can call it network marketing, affiliate marketing, referral marketing. For me, it's everything together. But there's one common thing. It's relationships. Right? In anything we do, we need to be great in forming relationships. Now, before going into too much deep into that, you know what also relationship needs? A leadership. So what is leadership? And how do we become a leader? Now, some people say that you're either born as a leader or you're not. I personally do not 100% agree with that. There are different personalities, as you're going to also learn over that kind of course, like that, you know, there are different types of personalities in this world, and because of that, someone tends to be more action taken, like more risk taker, wants to be more like, you know, in front of anyone else than other, just because of maybe their personality and so on. But most of the leadership can be learned. And one of the reasons how this leadership is being learned is by constantly improving, constantly educating, constantly getting into different types of events, different types of calls, different types of reading the books, listening to successful people. But there is one common thing about leadership. And you know what it is? Leaders do not learn or listen or surround themselves with people that know less than themselves or are less successful than themselves. They always tend to be looking up.
Yeah.
They always tend to be looking to individuals, to be searching for individuals, for people that at certain moment of time have more success than themselves. Let me give you an example. Take, for example, very, very successful international company. Let's just take, for example, Apple. Everybody knows Apple, right? And their technology and the phones and the computers and everything, right? Now, years and years and years ago, there was no Apple as a company. Okay? But on the other side, there were some individuals that were doing something in this direction already. There were some individuals that been thinking about, what about if we create a computer or something that is similar to computer, right? And then when in the case, let's say, for example, Apple or any other, or Microsoft and any other technology company started, they have looked up into what is maybe even thought, or when someone was thinking about it or like was getting an idea. And then they grabbed this and they said, we can actually develop it. And at some point, you're going to become an innovator. And that means you're going to be the best of the best. That means you're not going to have a lot of people to look up anymore. But before that time, everybody who is here, I just want you to understand that there are shortcuts sometimes for you to be better faster. And in order for you that, there is one important thing. You have to become humble. And you have to forget any ego you have that prevents you from asking someone who is more successful than you, better than you, to give you advice or to give you help. Because they are there for a reason. That doesn't mean that at some point you're not going to be more successful than they are. But if you are not there, you should always forget about, oh, how proud I am. You can always be proud. You can always have ego when it's needed. But
there's nothing wrong about having a good ego. No,
exactly.
nothing.
There is nothing wrong about you being strong personality and having an ego and having your own say. But you have to know when this is good to be used and when this is not good to be used. When ego helps you to grow or when ego helps you to actually go slower. Okay, so going back to the leadership, leaders are actually people who move things. Leaders are people who are taking action, who are showing the action. Many times people say leaders lead the way. That means they are saying like, okay, there has not been this way yet. I'm going to be first who is going to go through this way, so everybody else later on who is going to take this way, it is going to have a little bit easier way to go. They will still need to walk. Don't get me wrong. They will still need to walk on this way to get to the destination. But it might be a little bit easier because someone has done it already. So as we are starting here, one of my most important messages for everybody here today is start looking up more to people that are more successful than you are in an area that you are trying to reach success. No, here's the thing. Sometimes people say, well, this person is very well educated. He have a master's and doctor's degree from law. That's great. But here's another thing. You know when you should ask for help and really good mentorship from this person? If you're trying to achieve something significant in this specific area of law. But if you're trying to build up your career in a restaurant business, you might not take the right advice from someone who is a doctorate in law. I'm not saying they don't know anything. I'm not saying that. They know a lot of principles about the leadership and how to be a great person and like how to basically, you know, have a great personal development. I'm sure about that. But they might not know a lot about restaurant business. So those of you guys who are here, up to people who are doing okay? Those who are getting a lot of customers, those who are working with their partners, those who are able to create an income even when they sleep. Ask them, how did you just wake up this morning and you got a customer in the US on the other side of the world and you just made 20 euros? How did you do that? Okay, so once again, leadership is the most important thing. And that is why we're going to focus on these calls, most of it to leadership. I want to go a little bit into something before we go. Danny have something great also prepared for you guys when it comes to very important things of what we are going through in the next weeks and months when it comes to the events, when it comes to also the things what we do in our company. But I want to open up something just for the next 5 to maximum 10 minutes on something that it is very important. Question for everybody. How many of you know that New Hope Global have every Tuesday online event? Put number 1 in the comments if you know that every Tuesday New Hope Global is hosting an online event.
All right.
Okay, I see some ones coming in, right?
Those who actually come.
Many of those ones are coming, right? Danny is just looking at the names and she's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I remember.
And then I see some of you that put 1 but don't come. So
okay.
Yeah.
So that means from now on, you know, and we see your name.
Yep.
So we do every Tuesday. And then we are also here today. Today it's Wednesday. And we said going forward, this is going to be once every month. That means usually we're trying to do that every first Wednesday of the month. Okay, so you can put it, if those of you who are organized, who have your own, you know, calendars, all those kind of things, just to have it on your mind. Usually we try to do it the first Wednesday of the month. So the next one, when is going to be, Danny?
2nd
of October. Okay, this is the plan. So that kind of call is going to be 2nd of October. No, very important just to say that those of you guys who are here, this is going to be call open for everybody. It's not anymore just a 3-star partner or above or something like that. It is open for everybody. What we have seen is that there is a lot of people who are just getting started, who are coming to be a part of our community, but wants to learn some great ways of leadership. Okay? So it's available to everybody, to all your team members, to those who wants to be active, who wants to, like I said, get positive words, to get motivation, to get tips, to get ideas, anything that's going to be there. No, we have Tuesday event, then we have Wednesday event every month once. Then we are also planning for something that is going to be coming up in October, and this is not an online, but it's a live event that is coming up for our community in Zagreb, Croatia. Okay? And you're gonna see where I'm going with all those things, because I'm going to give you something very important here in the next few minutes. But those are some of the things that are happening. And for those of you guys who are like, okay, I heard something, or I should hear about something, I just send you a link right now. This is a link where you can read more about this live event in Zagreb, okay? That is going to be happening 18th and 19th of October. No. Why did I start it with those kind of things? The reason why I did that is because there are things that impacts our life. And some things impacts our life in a small little way. Some things can impact our life in a little bit bigger way. But there are some things that can impact our life big time and forever. So here's what I want you all to do. And hopefully, as we go through this kind of calls, you might be taking notes. I hope you do. Because if you don't, you might forget, you know? Like, luckily we're recording this, so you might go through and take notes later on if you want, but you might forget, or you might want to learn those things. Now, here's the thing. When we go through that, and when we learn, I personally always see like a 3-step way of making the progress in anything we do in our life. And specifically talking about getting better, becoming more, learn more personal development, becoming a better leader, having more success, helping more people. All such kind of things, I see it in 3 different stages. And I will give you these 3 stages right now, and I will describe it a bit before we go forward. So I hope you are at least going to listen really well. I hope you're going to take notes, whichever. But here's the thing. We have a small impact events. Okay? Number 1, small impact events. Then we have, and we're going to talk about a little bit more about each of these 3 in the next few minutes. But the one is the small impact events on our life, on our business, on our future. Then we have medium impact events. And then we have high impact events. And I'm just going to give you a few examples here and give you expectations, so you'll understand what that means. Now, let's start with that. Low impact events require very low commitment, very low time commitment, very low financial commitment. Also, most of the times does not take you too much out of your comfort zone. It's kind of like just passing by to not bother your mind too much. So those are the low impact events that usually are for free or doesn't take you, like I said, much of your time. You don't need to drive or fly, hundreds of kilometers. You can mostly just connect either online or just in your neighborhood or something like that. These are usually low impact events. But are you ready for that? Low impact events are going to also give you low progress, slow progress, are also going to give you a little bit less of progress. Why? It's all connected. How much we put in, that's how much we should take out or we should expect to get out. Okay? So what are some of the examples before we move to the second one? What are some of the examples of low impact events? I will tell you that any of your, like, when you meet with someone, maybe on Zoom or like on, maybe, I don't know, over the phone, texting, trying to help each other. These are usually some low impact events, give you some information, give you some ideas, but it's kind of like it have low impact. It goes in here fast, but it also goes out here fast because it's a part of our daily routine and our daily communications. Okay? No, we go to medium impact events. Medium impact events are those that requires a little bit more, that stretches us a little bit more. It might be that you might need to sit in the car and maybe attend the event that is maybe an hour or 2 hours away from you. You might go and listen and meet someone who is a leader in a specific area that you want to get more knowledge with, and you might need to pay something for it. Sometimes you will just pay with your time. Sometimes you will also pay with the real money, with finances. Right? And this might be, like, as we classify it, like a medium impact events. Right? Then there are also high impact events. And when it comes to high impact events, I will just give you a few examples on how you can actually identify high impact events. Most of the times, it's not easy to access those kind of events. What do I mean with that? It's not just that, like, you say, oh, I'm just gonna walk to somewhere. Like, you don't just walk down the road and you're just gonna have 5-hour mentorship session with I don't know, with Elon Musk. You don't just do that. Or with any other, like, world leaders or someone who is making things happen. Many times, high impact events, you need to earn it. But you know how you're gonna get to high impact events? Starting with the low impact events, go to the medium impact events, and eventually network, meet people, prove yourself, reach specific area of success for you to be able to get to the high impact events. And me and Danny can tell you that the high impact events, as the name says, is going to have the biggest change in your future. Is going to have the biggest change on your mindset. It is going to have the biggest change on your time and finances and how you do the things. You know, there has been times, just when it comes to the financial commitment, that I will tell you that there was an event, maybe like 3-hour event, even not live, even an online event, and you needed to pay 500, 600, 700 euros. And sometimes we ask ourselves, and this is what most of us do, when we hear these numbers, we say, this is unreal. This is like nonsense. Why would anyone in this world attend such kind of events? I will tell you one thing. Not always. There are still some high impact events that does not deserve to be named high impact events, because obviously some people are really good sellers. But most of the times, the high impact events are going to, you cannot count the outcome that you get out of it. You cannot even say like, oh, I invested 500 euros and I just got back 2,000 euros, because you cannot count it. Usually it's a life-changing. Usually it's something that it's like a residual income. It's like investment that keeps paying you back every single day of your life going forward. Okay? So we attended some events, you know, that's been like, that stretches our minds, not just financially, but also like, can I commit like for that long period of time, or can I do that? Or, you know, I will tell you. I will tell you just one example and we go forward after that. A few years ago, I made a decision that it's enough to play small. It's enough to just think smaller. And I made one very important decision. And you know what was it? That I will try to attend any possible event, live or online or whatever, that is going to make me better in an area where I want to have success, where I see the future for my family, where I see the future for the people that I can help with. And came a time where there was a leadership event coming up. And the leadership event, it was just about 3 days. And at that time, I was doing solidly well, but not something that it would be easy for me to say, I'm going to attend this leadership event. You know what was the biggest obstacle in my mind? The finances. You know how much was the 3-day leadership event? $10,000.
Some people are looking at you. That's for real. That's how much we.
And you know what?
Yeah.
And you know what? It didn't include the hotel. It didn't include the flight ticket. It didn't include any food or anything like that. It was just a pure 3-day leadership event. Just to be there, it was $10,000. And it was in Las Vegas. And by that time, I was living in Slovenia. So aside of me thinking about, oh, if I get this, I need to get the flight ticket. I need to get the hotel. I need to eat and all those things. That was my first thought. But then I was like, what about if the finances wouldn't be a problem? Would I do it? And I was like, yeah, I would 100% do it. But more than that, the reason why I brought this up is because events like that, I cannot tell you how many times of $10,000 keeps coming back every single month, every single year, decades and so on, as we go forward, just from the knowledge and from the people I met there and from the motivation I got from those people and from the connections I made that are going to last for a lifetime. Why I wanted to share all those things with you guys is because I want you to understand that events can change your life. And I'm gonna end up with that. I'm gonna let Danny go through all of the rest of it, because I just wanted to make you understand that everything starts with a leadership. And the most leadership you can learn is attending trainings, attending calls, attending anything that is in your area of interest that can make you better. And what Danny is going to share with you right now is something that I really tell you to listen and again to take notes, because it is very important.
So how many of you are inspired and excited? I am very inspired. I'm excited. And I think that leadership and leadership development is a really great topic. I personally, I'm going to tell you why. And yes, we're going to talk about events. You know, I'm going to give you a couple tips, and then we're going to wrap up the call, because as we said, it's going to be only an hour long, due to the respect to all of those of you who got here on time. Plus, we have some other meetings that most of you need to attend. I can say, you know, that my perception about, you know, events completely changed the way that I did business, my life, you know, as a person, how the person that I became at some point, you know, to take my business to the next level. Plus, I met my amazing, handsome husband. I mean, I can tell you all kinds of things about events, but it starts with your mindset. It starts right here. And that's what I want to cover in the next few minutes. And then
I just want to make a quick comment here. For those of you guys who are single, that's not a promise that when you're going to go to an event, that this is one of the perks, okay? But it's not a guarantee, okay?
Yeah, well, I was like, well, just to kind of like make it like a little bit more spicy, I was like, man, that guy is very cute. I was like, yeah, and then they told me
this is the time when
and then they told me, you know, oh, he's an amazing leader. And then I got to meet him and other leaders as well. I was inspired. And I was not only inspired by being at events, but I'm gonna tell you what the biggest challenge. And those of you ladies, I'm gonna just give you a piece of advice. Those of you who are single, just keep on going. I mean, don't just like, this is my experience. I wasn't looking for a man for me to be successful. That is a plus. It's very beautiful, and it's, I can tell you that is, I have a really great experience. I don't complain. I'm very blessed, and God has been good. He's amazing. So the mindset, everything starts with the mindset, because I come from a family, very beautiful family. I had a beautiful childhood. I mean, I didn't lack of anything. We weren't, you know, the richest people, but, you know, I had great parents, and I still have them. They're really good. They taught me a lot of family values. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. There was one thing that was missing, because you might have a beautiful family, you might have a great, you know, environment, or you might not, I don't know. But there's one thing that is missing from all of our upbringing whenever we're not rich. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. If you think that being rich is bad, you're wrong. If you want to enjoy life at the fullest, you need to be very wealthy. And that's the number one thing you need to change before you even try to think about going to an event, because most of us, and I was very challenged in that way, that my mindset was very closed up, because, you know, my dad used to say, money does not grow on trees. And then I always make fun of him, because then, you know, he saw how well I started doing. And then I told my dad, no, it grows under Danny. And then we just make fun of those things. And I always tell my parents now, like now, some of those stories have helped me be a light to my own family and tell them, hey, you need to change that mindset. Oh, I don't have money for such and such. You have money for whatever you can, whatever you want. If you want a car, you don't need money. If you want a new house, forget about, the taxes and the government. That's all BS. I'm sorry for this word, but this is the limiting beliefs that governments, that our family, without them knowing, that our friends, that people that we surround ourselves with, they put in our mind. And that's, sadly, that's all we talk about when we go and see a friend. Honestly, I'm going to tell you one thing. I am very radical when I pick a friend, and I don't have many, because I want my friends to be people who are thinking bigger than me. Usually, we get this mindset of, oh, I can't go this, I can't go to the event, I cannot do this, I cannot go for a holiday. I don't know if I should buy this home because it's too expensive, and, the taxes and this, and I don't know if I should, get this new piece of clothes. Oh, I don't know, I just, all my family live with so little, and then we just get this nonsense. I'm gonna invite you to, for just 5 minutes, put those thoughts in like a quarantine, like somewhere in your brain, and just kind of like, just don't listen to them. And it'll be very good that you don't listen to them forever. Because whenever you understand that there's a bigger picture and there's another way of living, you will not want to go back to the same old thinking. And it started with me at events. My upline, at some point, when I was in one of my first companies, he did not want me to go to events, company events, or any kind of events whatsoever. Why? He had this mindset of, you don't need anything. You don't need, you don't need to go anywhere else. You have all the training you need. You're going to distract yourself. You just need to get customers. This is what this guy was telling me. You have your customers. You're very solid. Where do you go? Like, nobody else is going, just, those who are making tons of money go, but be realistic. He even told me, you don't even have money to go. And that got me really upset. I'm sorry that some of us have different personalities. I'm like, I'm just not going to follow what this man is telling me. He's not even related to me. I respect him, but I think he's wrong, because I see how other leaders that come and train us in our company, they keep on talking about events. Long story short, I went to my very first event in, very, very far away. I had to pay, like Dino said, ticket for the event, my plane ticket, the hotel, everything, and the food. And if you think about it, I was living, in Mexico, and it's very different. When you go to an event, I was literally spending the same amount of money that I will spend for an entire month in just one weekend. That's it. And if you think about it in the sense of financial mindset, it will make no sense financially to go. Yep, like Dino was saying. That's one of the biggest blocks that you need to overcome. You need to work on your mindset every single day. That's why these type of calls are so important, because you will learn not only from Dino, from me, we're going to bring some other people, from some of the people here in the community, because the change of mindset will change your life. If you're good with people, you're going to be good in business. If you have good relationships, you're going to be really, really good. There are some misconceptions that just because somebody is really, really successful for a period of time, but they're very ugly with other people, with their family, with, their spouse, success is going to just come to a short period of time. And then, they're going to go jump back down to where they came from. And it all comes down to being a better person and to having the right mindset. So what is first, Dino? The egg or the chicken? Because here we have something like very similar. What is first? Do I need to change my mindset, or do I need to go to the event, or I go to the event and then I change my mind? So or what? That's a challenge, right? But I'm going to invite you to do one thing for a period of time. Trust the process. And we're talking about events, going to Zoom calls, showing up to seeing people, getting your own local events. And one thing that we're preparing for, which is our event in Zagreb. Yes, a lot of people are telling me, and I've talked to some of you in the community, and I've been very respectful. But some people say, well, it requires I need to buy the plane ticket, I need to buy, and I don't know who I'm going to leave my kids with. Okay, it's expensive and it's challenging compared to what? To the life that you will continue to live every single year the same. That is expensive. That is expensive to stretch for maybe, and I'm not telling you to go in debt or to go crazy. No, I'm just telling you a piece of advice. For me, like Dino, I have spent many years in events and it was crazy. I never told my family how much I paid for it and they didn't need to know, or even my friends, because they would never understand it. But every single time I went to an event, I got a new skill and I got better. And then people started getting excited. People around me, people who were part of my family, people in my team, people started even doing more because they saw, hey, these things work. And then I came and I was teaching some of the things that I learned. And then my team grew even faster. When I took people to events, then this gets to the next level. Because it wasn't just me being excited and, hey, I can do all things and my mindset is at the right level. It got to a point where I was very much in a way that I wanted everybody to know about this type of things. When I took people to events outside of our own country, across, the other continent, that's when things went into like popcorn, started to pop things. I'm not asking you to go to another country, to another continent. We're having an event right there in Europe. And maybe some of you are listening to this in a recorded line. I know for a fact, and you're in the US or in Mexico, you can still apply the same principles. Maybe not today, but maybe in the next few months or the next few years. But what I'm gonna tell you, and where I want to point you at, is that events. Now I spoke about, the mindset coming from, what Dino was explaining, what it did to me, some of my personal experiences. Now, the benefits that, you're going to grow, more people are going to grow, not only financially, but, in all areas. And then the other part, which is, the part of really breaking through, because I can hear the information Dino is giving me. I can hear Danny, very beautiful, but you don't know anything, Danny. You don't know anything. You don't know when I shut down the computer or the phone. You don't know what I hear in my home. You don't know who I talk to. You don't know that my spouse doesn't support me, or they tell me that what I'm doing right now is not worth it. Or, you hear yourself. You can't do it. Or worse, worse than anything. You don't need anything. Like when you talk to yourself in a way that you're okay, that you're fine with 300 euros, that there's no need, those things, I don't think that I should strive for more because I am good enough. I can find my food. I can buy it. I live a good life. I have my own job. This is just paying for some extra bills. I have my, my holidays. This is the worst. This is the worst that you can do, that you don't think about you being in a better place. Once, and I'm going to invite you to do this thing right now where you are. You're living a life, I don't know, maybe it's a comfortable life. Maybe it is good. Maybe you have the furniture you have the clothes that you really want, and you're okay. But I'm going to tell you one thing. You're not serving anybody else. This is very selfish. When people just come and say, well, I don't need more clothes, I don't need more that, it's like, yeah, I get it. But for you to be able to help other people, you need to go to the next level. You need to go and step it up. You need to go and think about, what is that I can improve in this home where I live? What is that I can improve in my body? What is that I can improve with my spouse, with my kids, with people that are around me? When you get to this point, things will start to change for the better. And I think that most of you are here because you want to change things for the better. And I want to close with this. I'm going to tell you one thing that I believe that has been the biggest just game changer. Yes, I'm going to say that word that is very used in the US, but it has been a game changer. Whenever I believe in me first, and then in my dreams, because I started speaking out loud, to my parents, to my friends. Whenever I started meeting my friends for coffee and they start talking about other people, oh, and they did this and they went on this vacation and they bought that and oh, how grown they are. That is dangerous. Stay away from that. If you have those friends, you need to change them as soon as possible. You need to have friends that have kind of like the same goals, other entrepreneurs, other people that are talking about businesses, ideas. This is the game changer for me, and I'm going to tell you what it is and for you to take on. And whether you go to Zagreb or not, you need to change your mindset. You need to get rid of all of the things that your family members have told you, all of your friends, all of the people that are around you. You need to get rid of that. That doesn't serve you for anything. You need to get rid of like getting yourself involved into politics, and with very kindness, I will say it, even with religion. Because in order for you to develop yourself and your family, your immediate family, you need to get better right here. Because you cannot change the world if you have not changed yourself. And the only way to do that is to step outside of your comfort zone. And for me, the best recommendation that I give you is to get yourself on a car, get yourself on a plane, get yourself on a bus, and go to Zagreb. You're gonna get, I'm not saying that this is going to change your life. Maybe it would. Maybe. Because events and going to other countries changes the way that you think. Your brain is not gonna be the same. Your brain is like an elastic band. When you expand it, you will never be the same. I always tell my husband, I want an Escalade. You know why I want an Escalade? And if just go Google it. I travel in this truck, whenever the company that I was with, they put several Escalades for all the leaders. And I was like, oh, what is this all about this truck? It's too much gas and, it's just too much taxes and whatever. I was not right in my mindset. I was broke. I was thinking as a poor person. And I'm not saying that being poor is not having money, it's having a poor mindset. Once I got in one of those trucks, guys, I'm gonna tell you one thing. And then you have a chauffeur. Woo! If you're a woman and if you have big purses and if you have children, you know that you want that thing. At least that's my experience. This is a comparison for you to get on a plane. Try one time, just one time, to go on first class. Your life will never be the same. You'll be like, oh, I don't need that. Oh, you do need it. I'm sorry. But in order for you to go to the next level, you need to start stepping it up. Because if you live in the same little bubble and you accommodate your goals to your income, you will never grow. This is the secret, my friends. Stretch a little bit further. I'm not asking you to go and buy first class right now because it might not be possible. It might not be feasible. This is just an example. But a little stretch. Go on that bus. Go get on the car. Maybe get on the freaking plane. Maybe. And like me, sometimes when I took some of, and I think I just went over, I'm so sorry. When I took some of those trips, I was eating tuna from the can. When I was starting my business and I went, to another regional events and I was doing everything possible. We fit in people in a room, like 3 or 4 people and things like that. But to close with this, you need to change your mindset and you need to stretch. And the opportunity is here and right now. Zagreb is calling you. Zagreb might change your life. Zagreb might change you. And then from you, you change the world. Because let me tell you one thing. What other people around you don't want you to do, is to actually, be better. Unfortunately, this world is full of agendas. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, and it's very sad, but you and I will be somebody else's tool to achieve an agenda. Don't be that. Be the best for your family. So I'm gonna leave you with that. I know that we only have 2 minutes and maybe I overspoke, but that is my passion. My life changed with events, and I think you should start considering to change your mindset and getting on that plane, getting on that bus, getting on that car, and getting, just as a step of faith, and you're gonna see how things are gonna change around yourself.
That's amazing. I just want to to finish up with that. First of all, this call by itself, it's not just about one specific event. I want you to understand that. We spoke and we got you like example of what we are doing, and we believe that like every Tuesday, it's a great opportunity to grow. Once a week, once a month, every Wednesday. That means like one Wednesday a month. It's a great opportunity to grow. And we said we have low impact, we have medium, we have high impact events, right? More as you grow, more you're going to look for like high impact events where you can do these things faster and better, right? So what I want you to understand here is, as we are finishing this up for today, is that events are everything that happens in our life. You take your phone and you message a friend. You know what you just did? You created an event action, that something happened. And because you did something, you are expecting something, right? So everything is connected. More ideas we get, more people we hear, more successful people we surround ourselves with, more we are going to tend towards that. And I will just give you one challenge here as we are finishing. Are you ready for that? How many of you want to stretch your mind? How many of you want to think bigger? Put number 5 in the comments if you think that you want to think bigger, but you're kind of like still like stuck somewhere, or like your environment or the people around you, you feel that they're preventing you to go to the next step. Here's the thing. Pick something that you really wish, like something big. Now, I'll give you an example. Some of you like big house, like a house, I don't know, somewhere, even by the beach, by the sea, or somewhere, whatever. Some of you like a really nice car. Some of you like something else. But pick something that is material. I'll give you an example, because Danny was talking about the cars before. What about if some of you like, but let's not go like crazy great. Let's just say that you would like, I'll pick my favorite car brand, BMW. Let's say that you would like to have a brand new BMW X7, whatever, this M model, like sport model, everything. I know that, some of you might say, well, no, I don't like that car at all. That's fine. Pick. That's why I gave you an example. No. This BMW X7 Sport, the newer model, maybe even like 2025 model. No. Here's the thing. Even if you cannot afford it today or in these days, what would happen if you go to a BMW dealership, or if you want specific house, go and book the tour of this house and go and check it?
Can I say something quickly?
Yes.
When I was starting and I was broke, this is one of the things that I learned, that they taught us at events. Even if you feel uncomfortable, even if you feel like if you have 10 euros in your bank account, the money in your bank account doesn't define who you are. You are rich already, and you need to act accordingly. go and do what Tino is saying, even if you don't have the
Even
means.
if you don't have the money to you
Yep.
for you to go and buy this specific car, go to the dealership and ask them for a test drive. Drive it around. Go and watch. Go and take a look at this. I don't know, 10 bedroom house or whatever you want to have it somewhere at the beach. Go and take a look. Take the tour. If you never flew with the airplane, go and book a flight ticket and do that. You will never want to go back anymore. You will be like, I want to do it more time, more often. I want to go to this place. I want to see this. I dare you to give you a challenge. Do this. After that, when you're going to come back, you're going to be like, what do I need to do to go to the next step, man?
Yep.
Like, what do I need to do to get this car? What do I need to do to get this house?
Yep.
You have to stretch your mindset. And when you do that, anything else is going to come in place. Calls, events, not just for you, but also for your team members.
Yeah.
That's the most important part. So that's it for today. It's a first call that we did it that way. We're going to keep doing it. As we said, the 2nd of October is going to be the next one. Everybody is going to get all the information and so on. We hope that we see many of you and your team members that are not here today on every Tuesday call that we do. Plug your people in, let them build a business. Let us help you and your team to build a business. And if not, and hopefully we're gonna see many of you in Zagreb as well, live, if nothing else, to spend some time together and to give ourselves a hug and to just spend some great time together. And we appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you also to all our translators, Roland and Simona and Felipe. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate all of you guys, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.